the hell? It gets so cold. Like on the way here.
I know.
So much frost, so much ice.
So much.
I need something to warm me up.
Want a Dublin?
Oh, sure. Hello.
Or how about a stout?
That'll do too.
Okay.
Hey there, and welcome once again to the Juror Brewery tour.
Well said.
Thanks, I'm Jay.
I'm Seth.
And today, we're drinking stouts, but not just any stouts.
Oh.
Irish stouts.
Irish stouts.
Yes.
I like Irish stouts.
Well, we're getting pretty close to that time of year when people start to think about leprechauns, so
Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely.
like daily.
They're scary.
They come out of the backyard at night, and they haunt me with their lucky charms. Actually, you remember that
that's different.
scene? Do you remember that scene in Austin Powers
Yes.
where the guy's and he's got his lucky charms, and Frau Farbissenen's like,
Yeah.
and the kids think they're eating candy. To start off, you gotta start with Guinness.
With the original.
Well, it is an original. I wouldn't call it the original Irish stout, but it certainly has a long history.
It's been around for longer than most of the ones that are out there anymore.
Indeed.
All right. So.
Ow!
All right.
Woo! That's a bubbly one, isn't it?
Now this is quite a terrible thing to do to a Guinness, is to stop it midway and pour it like this, but it's what we're gonna do because that's what we do. So I'm gonna try to get this as good as I can, but
okay, what I love most about Guinness is the action. Look at that. Look at that carbonation sort of filtering upward, and then that color changing. And I recognize that there is a drink out there called a black and tan where you use half stout, half lager, and you kind of have a separation line, but which reminds me of that, but it's just such a beautiful look.
Yeah.
And a lot of the experience with Guinness goes along with the appearance. There's
Absolutely.
a ceremony to pouring a Guinness.
well, there is, and that's why I said this is quite wrong to actually pour a Guinness like this. You should be pouring it all into one glass so that the head can all form.
And everything can stay together. They always say that when a Guinness takes something like 2 minutes to pour, something like that, right? From start to finish, till the head completely settles and firms up so you get nice stiff peaks. There's also...
And has a beer ever been more pretentious about the way that it's poured? This is meant to be an experience. And so we take a look at it, and it's certainly not as opaque as all other stouts might be, but you get a little light at the bottom, but it's basically not see-through. And watch him go with his fingers. Finger that beer, buddy.
Absolutely.
Look at those peaks, and they
Peaks all
hold.
I know.
And that's the nice thing about the peaks in this Guinness.
Yep.
They're going to stick around.
Yeah, and it's obviously you've got the nitrogen widget in there, so the bubbles are smaller, right? There's no carbonation; it's nitrogenation.
Nitrogenation?
Makes sense.
Right. Nitrogenation.
Well, it's not carbonation, nitrogenation.
Okie dokie. This head is just creamy, frothy, thick, lovely, and a very mild scent to it. There's not a lot in there.
You get a little bit of the malt. I don't get much of the roast, but
And I think part of the problem is we both stuck our finger in it and then licked our fingers.
well, and also the head is just so dense,
Yes.
right? I mean, it's not a beer that's carbonating and bubbling up, and so all of that.
No, it's nitrogenating.
I know, but we're not getting that aromatic going over it and over the actual beer. This is from a thick pillow top head. Yeah, it's so smooth because of that. It's got just a nice flavor. It's the drinkability of it is the important thing about Guinness.
It's easily drunk,
Yeah,
as am I some days. But I get coffee in it. I get a little bit of bright berry to it. It's very coffee-like in its presentation because it is a light, bright flavor,
Yep.
but without the dark anger that coffee brings.
yeah. Well, it has certainly that smooth and a little bit lighter in flavor texture than you would get from most stouts today.
Well, it's just over 4%. It's 4.2% alcohol, so
Yep.
it is technically a session stout.
Yeah.
I know you hate that term when it comes to your beloved Guinness, but
No,
it is
well-
a lower alcohol beer. It's meant for day drinking.
Well, yeah, but again, because this beer has been around for so long, what we call stout is not what they have kept this recipe the same for hundreds of years is not what we think of today.
And
So-
for more information on that, feel free to check out any history of beer book. But
Yeah.
in reality, we're going to measure it up against current stouts because
Okay.
we're about to have 2 more.
Okay, that's fair.
Can't go wrong starting off with Guinness.
No.
No.
How do you not start there?
It's completely inoffensive. It has a delightful flavor and it's a wonderful mouthfeel. Excellent beginning.
Next up is the Rouge River Never Junior. So this is their Irish style dry stout. Comes in at 4.5%. So would you call that a session?
I'd have to. My personal rule is anything below a 5. Okay. Completely oily, dark black. You can't see through this thing in any way whatsoever. A foamy, bubbly head on top. Mocha colored head on top.
I don't have very much head.
Yes, I've heard.
Lots of coffee.
Tons of coffee. Coffee's a great smell.
A little bit of chocolate.
Strong roast. It's almost greenery, which is an unusual scent for me to get out of a stout, but I'm getting a little bit of an herbaceous scent. Yeah. Anyways, maybe it'll present on the tongue.
A lot more acidic because of the carbonation as opposed to the nitrogen.
Lot more bubble to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not nearly as smooth mouthfeel, but it creates a bit of a sizzly spiciness on the back of the tongue, which is pleasant. Not spicy like spicy food, but just like activated. Yep. Very, very. The bitterness on this one presents much stronger than on the Guinness.
And it's very dry at the finish, which is what you would expect. Yep.
But the coffee is omnipresent there. It is just so much coffee on it. Not overpowering coffee, but it is definitely the dominant flavor.
Yeah.
That brightness, the extra acidity that you sort of get from the carbonation presenting there. It's a good beer for sure.
It is. It is obviously very different.
Right.
Very, very different.
I find it a richer flavor than the Guinness.
There's a lot more body to this.
Yes.
A lot more flavor in the body, but I don't know if this is as drinkable to me as the Guinness is.
No, and I don't think it's meant to be. I think this
Yeah.
is meant to stand out a little harder than the Guinness would. The Guinness is something that you have 2 or 3 with breakfast, but this one,
Yeah.
this one is meant to be a stout when you want a stout.
Yeah. This next beer is from an award-winning brewery in Ontario. If ever there was an Irish stout that I'm excited to try, it's this one.
So not one from Ireland?
Well, I mean,
So Toronto, mainstay of Irish people everywhere. And next up we have the Granite Brewery in Tide House, and this is their Irish Stout 4.5%.
but this is an award-winning brewery that specializes in European old school kind of stuff like milds and all that kind of thing. So
And
Irish stout-
natural fermentation.
I don't know that, but they,
No,
sure.
they do natural fermentation for much of their stuff, including their bitters.
Oh, okay. I know the brewer. She's been, brewer of the year and everything else. I mean, a great place. Excellent beers. Everything that I've had from them has been really well made. And I've never tried this one. I'm so excited. Look at the head on that.
Well, I could look at that, but first I'm looking at the color because it's just as dark as the last one, oily and rich.
I get a little bit of color at the bottom.
Well, let's talk about the head because mine's dissipating quickly.
Mine is quite stiff
Yeah,
for a carbonated stout. That's pretty good.
good stuff.
Mocha color.
A little bit, yeah, not quite as dark as the last one.
No. Oh, sweet nose.
Yes.
Oh,
And I'm not getting coffee off this, I'm getting more chocolate.
yeah.
Milk chocolate in this
Sweet-
case.
Sweet malts. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, but it doesn't taste all chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Little chocolate on the finish. But at first, it's just malt and roast.
Yeah.
Chocolate. Oh, now the bitter and dryness is coming in and taking me
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Well, this is an adventure.
This is a really nice beer. Yeah. And it's just still also, it's not super thick in the mouth. It's not just a ball of roast that is in my mouth. This one is just, it's still very smooth and very
Second
drinkable.
sip presents more sweet because you've grown accustomed to the dry and bitter.
Oh, yeah.
That sweetness gets to showcase itself for a bit.
Oh,
this is fun.
That's really nice. What a fun journey to Ireland.
I didn't leave your couch.
I know. That's what's so great about this.
No, I'd much rather go to Ireland right now.
Maybe not right now.
Right now.
I don't know about
Literally,
right now.
I'd like to be in a field in Ireland.
I'd like to be alone somewhere.
Because it's really freaking cold right here, right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's winter in Canada. Thanks so much for watching the Rural Juror Brewery Tour.
Well said.
Thanks.
I'm Jay.
I'm Seth.
Check us out next time when we try some more beer.
Make sure you like and subscribe below.
I think they should subscribe
And
below.
yeah, you
and
should.
tell a friend to subscribe below.
And check out the web of the site.
ruraljurorbrewerytour.com.
Well said.
Thanks. See you next time.
Cheers. Wow.
Speaking
And again-
of Granite Brewhouse, you get a chance to go to it. It's in Uptown Toronto, Yonge and Eglinton area. And what a nice place. Old wood, brass rails, friendly servers. Really nice place to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Lots of beer on tap. Some on cask.
Oh, and they sell
Cask in a box.
cask in a box, like a wine box.
Yeah.
Like you know how you got the cardboard dough. Well, you get one of those, but it's full of cask strength beer. So it's uncarbonated, and it's just been sitting there. And the one I had was aged a year in a barrel before they put it in. It was really nice.
I had their mild. Really great.
I also had a mild.
Oh, did you? Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, but mine was aged for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yours is fresh.
Right.